I caught my GF, who is a counselor, cheating on me with a patient. This is a lot and I'm sorry. I just really need an outside opinion from people who can't say anything. For story purposes, I'm in IT and she's a counselor at a methadone clinic. So a few weeks ago, for the first time in months, my GF went out with her brother to drink at the city fair. They were together up until midnight and when he went to the bathroom she took off. He tried calling her 10 times and sending a GPS request and she denied or ignored them all. I was at home with that kid sleeping and when I was getting a bottle at 3 a.m. she came stumbling in drunk. I could tell something was off. She didn't give me a kiss or anything and snuck down to the bedroom downstairs. The next day I asked her what happened and she says she met up with a co-worker who was having a bonfire. Okay, whatever, why didn't you bring your brother? Blah blah, little fishy but I brushed it off and moved on. Fast forward a few days and she says I can't bring her lunches anymore, which I have been doing for the last year or two, and then she proceeds to turn her friends list private to only see mutual friends between people. Started to get more suspicious and I brought it up and she says I don't want to talk about it again, I did nothing wrong and I have nothing more to say about it. Wow. So next week rolls around I start taking action. If I'm wrong I'm an asshole, if I'm right then I'm justified. I had her Facebook login info and I took an old phone and activated it with location sharing and stashed it in her car. Weekend comes around and she's talking about going to the beach with a girlfriend that she can only communicate with on Facebook. I look at the messages and she's lying, there are no messages from her. I confront her about lying straight to my face about it and she denies and calls me a creep and an asshole. So I leave and she has to stay and watch the kids. The very next day, we talk and kind of hash things out and she proceeds to ask me to go to the beach again. I say fine, whatever. She kind of makes jokes about me wanting to know where she is by sending me snap pictures at every stop, mall, tanning bed, etc. She ends up going to the back until 9:30 at night, no updates, then she goes to a restaurant. No updates. So I decide to go pie. I take my parents' car and post up 5 spots over with view of the door. She comes walking out with a guy and I confront them. No tears, no apologies, no denials. Look this guy up on Facebook and get his name and CCAP him. He has a 2-page rap sheet including battery and domestic issues, meth possession, disorderly, etc. I find out he's a patient of hers the next day and they have been having sessions for 6 months. I have the opportunity to get revenge and I'm having a hard time not reporting her to her boss and getting her license revoked. Tell me why I shouldn't, besides that we have 2 kids together. Comnet. She's going to harm more people than you with her unethical behavior. You're going to do great with the kids. Drop the hammer. I don't want to sound mean but my boy end her career if not for you, for your kids, for having a mother like her. Not only is she cheating on you, and it has likely been going on for months. Please get tested for STDs. But she's putting your children at risk. And she's likely using, as well. You need to document, prepare for divorce, and get ready to protect your children from her. Be the best dad because she's putting her own children, your children, at risk by choosing an abusive felon drug addict with whom to cheat. Drop the hammer, get the police involved, and document everything. You'll almost certainly end up in court to protect your children. Protect family financial resources from her before she drains all family/joint accounts. Lawyers are expensive but necessary. Come up with a detailed plan of action, execute the plan, and be careful. Remember, your children are all you have now. Grieve the loss of your marriage later. Once you begin executing your plan, reach out to your family. That is, unless you know family members, in your side of the family, obviously, who you can trust, who will not tell anyone and allow it to somehow get back to your wife. You must be the responsible adult who will take care of your children and put their interests first. Report her. Not because I support revenge, but because this directly violates patients' rights, and I wholeheartedly have a problem with abusing her role as a counselor, the same way I would have a problem with anyone in any position of authority violating that role. Not a teacher, not a pastor, not a correctional officer. I would not only tell her boss, I would start with reporting her to the state agency that issues her license. I personally would be on the phone tomorrow morning. Sorry you have to go through this. Next story 2. I think my husband is cheating or trying to. Until last week I would have told you my husband is so obsessed with me he'd never cheat. My last serious relationship before him was with a chronic cheater, so he knows that's something I've experienced in the past. Even so, my husband and I rarely have sex. I used to think it was because our work schedules were opposite, but they're not anymore, and he still doesn't initiate or catch on when I try. I saw an app logo on his phone I thought was strange last week. I googled it. It's a hookup app. I joined and made a fake profile, hoping the app just somehow carried over from an old phone. As soon as I clicked to see people near me, there he was, in clothes purchased recently. The next day he liked my fake profile. Within an hour of that, he deleted his. I went through our phone bill and found a number he spent 7.5 hours talking to over the course of a week. Almost all of the calls took place while he was commuting or at work. The ones that took place when he may have been around me are much shorter than the rest, like 1 minute. I put the number in Snapchat and it came up as a woman. Googling the number shows it belongs to someone halfway across the country. Is there any innocent explanation for this? I am working on a plan to confront him. We have all kinds of stress going on right now, so I want to let him finish something he's working on beforehand. I am thinking about asking for a separation. Would love to hear from anyone who has been in a similar situation or has suggestions for me. Comnet. I'm sorry, but I don't think there's an innocent explanation. You don't accidentally download a hookup app, accidentally set up a profile, or accidentally keep making calls to the same woman. No need to be sorry. Part of me posting this was also to hear that I'm not jumping to conclusions. My past with cheaters has made me a little jumpy, I guess, and I thought with the way he's always kissing me and telling me how much he loves me, it wouldn't make sense for him to be doing that, but what other explanation is there? Yeah, no. And you don't accidentally go on and like your wife's profile when he didn't know it was her. He may try spin it and saw he knew it was her, but really, he logged in and scrolled through looking for her? I don't think so. Not sure why Op is being so considerate of his stress, while probably the stress of this is eating at her every second of every minute. Use this to plan an exit strategy. Document all his nonsense and talk to a good lawyer. Use this time to take care of yourself and your kids. Get all your ducks in a row before you confront. Contact a lawyer. Get financials in order, accounts, retirement, etc. Get ST tested. Thank you. I know this is the right order of things, but my goodness, is it hard acting like I don't know. I slipped a little bit last night. He had a female friend texting him for relationship advice and about whether or not Plan B will work if you use it multiple times in a month at 1 a.m. He asked me about that last bit and I flipped out, asking why she would be texting a married man about it in the middle of the night instead of Googling it, which I then did, and wouldn't you know it, the answers to her questions were literally on the Plan B website, which was the second Google result.